간된 라진 군주 토가네 라크르슈스 봉지 준전者취지제고 공견 로선차 세단 제반는데 시수소런 등이 남걸 선제배대 지존라마 기변 정거치 다로 대비 선놈 신조도 땡바지시 계절수도 시신경원 자료 로드도 계산나외 gen주레시송 자베 베젤라면 제베고 동대 전배 동대 라상 以后这样那做没多当，这是特别那是就是说，我是一种学生讲中的所能伸缩起来之后，大概他们对那啥吧也，另外也是没给职业当，前边当把手机面对出，你能叫把差别说说下，你们真正忙得着了，从学习方面谈出这也是。广播节节老真怎么了？当时上班单位也让我就说那么当把天东去个考了，现在真正。제대로 담배 두신 점말라 sabji chuji chawa dagi chini sabi gewandi tendan roba kongla kamban chabar juzon la san chaba ye tenbe nimbo rindu sa shisho penden zawe la ma rumbo chi dagi ningar pime tenshu la kachin chimbe gwani jizon kusong tuji ngudu zardu soro tsaro kundu jawa tsungabe tensho shini ngusu zebin gyawe ngabe lamsa tenye Geshe Tsultrim dobar majuro ji mezeve de jinshiri zi chime kimbe wongbo jambe ya dobo malen jamze samwe da kanchin kimbe sujin sunga ba losan chabe shavla sorwan mezeve de jinshiri zi chime kimbe wongbo jambe ya dobo malen jamze samwe da kanchin kimbe sujin sunga losan chabe shavla sorwan de mezeve de jinshiri zi chime kimbe wongbo jambe ya 도보 말은 정제 상회다 간제 김배 조진 송급 로선 잡에 샤블라 소완데 로선 잡에 샤블라 소완데 강기 도진이 손에 따와 통제 방비세를 담비 춘된지 과담 제라 창제로 나무 라이 깨달로다 노지기 처음다다 미케는 저 군지자는 지점 탐지께도 다그 최된도 Good morning everyone. Good.
Kogido? Yes. Hello, good morning.
가진 언제 제와트는 제체로 왔으라.
Yeah. So previously we went along with the questions and answer sessions. So if you would like to ask any questions directly now, that you're most welcome.
Okay, so I have a question, if I could ask.
Yes.
Maybe I will. I could. Okay, so I have a few questions for the film, what I'm doing. And the title is Chenrezig, The Origin of Tibetan Buddhism in Australia. And target group of the film are students, like maybe students or people who may not know anything about Buddhism. And also I feel that Lama Yeshe gave name Chenrezig to Chenrezig not without reason. So I would be grateful for explanation who is Chenrezig, and what does Chenrezig means for Geshe.
Thank you. So your target group for the movie is for the beginners that are interested in Buddhism. And then Labayashi gave the name to this Dharma center as Chenrezig. So there was a significance to that. So really what is the understanding of what Chenrezig is, and from the perspective of Geshe-la's own perspective as well. That's it. So Geshe-la, so Malgogi and demo check Sugiyoroa.
Yeah.
Any double city soyagi tagen zo suresera any napichugi letabwa yinken rani lama yishigi eri chusudila eri chiriziki mingtag yoroa eri chiriziki gupa eri kare gupa zo kare yore eri di Geshe Suzuki nene Suzuki wagi eri Chireziki gupa kari yure sonso labson. This is good. These headphones are very good.
Chidani Yawarmuchigi hello Mambu Rinlaya Sonyores Ra Nanzu Chulu Zamblina Laya Chulu Mambu Chiga Chulu Samalo Shenlaya Pendi Driage Chagenji Tony and Chulu Tigit Chonsha Yobati Sibures Disungores.
So in general, His Holiness the Dalai Lama has mentioned over many years that within all the religions, that there are many religions that are being of great benefit to others. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama has clearly said this. This.
Tinza the pendigi zawadi karere islaundi pendigi zawadi ninjium zewadres pigi zewadres ro nganzu ta pena mijile ya chasha na mid toma ami chogona ya chabani chene ani zewi kyanggu yobadi nganzu ngonsum tontu yores ro teni 아마니마 아니 끼니 칠로라야 끼비 니모니 체냐 아미 참종 메나 아미기 참바 메나 제와 메나 안주야 살롱 총투야디 제호코르요 마리스 제호코르요 마리스.
So we can understand that the root of this benefit is actually coming from the love and compassion. Yeah. In particular, we can think about the love. So, for example, when we think in terms of people, that in the beginning that we all start off in the mother's womb. Yeah. And based on the mother's love, then we can see that a lot of care has been taken. We can directly see this. Yeah. And then having given birth and being born, we can see that the benefit and our wishes and hopes are really coming dependent on our mother's love. So we can see this very clearly.
Inida penatalo chubdin chubji simbi jelaya teni lo chonga nyushu sumju rilaya ani so bigita 소소소게 메제드 소소소 게투야게 아니 뒤즈튼동지기 릴라야 지 잠제디 쇼지 아니 생기 잠경 거래야 단 로마고 소르치 로 안주 통고레스 티야 아니 티야 마레스 로 가주 생기 장경 진행지 여바이나 아니 수수 메시디 아니 시딩한 게 투야디 대응한주 용의 접촉 그래서 할 아니 갱고 차용디야 아니 생기 장경 진행지 여바이나 아니 수수로 대부친 라 아니 시초야지 랑한주 사마기니 시에레 시비니 모데나야 소소래 장경 진행지 여바이나 아니 로 대부친이 남자 메비토니 시야지 용초고레스 인제 there's 참말로 아니 잠발라야 야차 갸니 갸탐바 잠발라 땡데바치 제발라 땡데바디 아니 세부세갸레스
So, for example, after we've become a little bit more mature, maybe around 17 or 18 years old, then becoming an adult during those mature age years, then we can see very clearly that if we look towards being loving and a sense of concern for others, that we are very dependent on this. Yeah. So during our mature age and then becoming older, during our older age, that if we've practiced this loving kindness and sense of concern for others, however much we practice in that way, then our mind is also becoming more happier and more relaxed. Yeah. So even when we do reach old age, then our minds are not going to be disturbed as much, but we're going to be experiencing a much more relaxed and sense of calm and peace. Yeah. So this is really due to our own understanding and practice of the loving kindness. Yeah. So this is very clear that it's dependent on the practice of love and kindness.
그러다 다나신기 직수다 소수 메지기 온디 베게다 사상침바이나야 직직라야 참바데 제와요나 사상기부친 데투여바 아니 총바침지인바이나야 펜수 직직라야 제와여바이나 아니 참부 통부치니 로 아니 직직라야 로바치니 김지친 데투여바 아니 롱바 야카 펜수인바이나야 아니 참지여바이나 아니 통부 연구여봐 아니 야리 마셔와 망축 마셔야 그래서 참말로 디 잠질을 때요레스 잠지 만다위 니모델이야 되는 망축 쇼야로 써봐 아니 젠섬 착도 아니 만침바 참말로 아니 잠지 만다말 때는 연구여봐디 야제야다 말이스 디 겨울무지 가진 송고레스
So we can see clearly in our lives, for example, that if we have a sense of love and concern within our own family, then we're experiencing a lot more peace and happiness and relaxation within our own family based on this loving sense of concern. And in the same way, our relatives and our neighbors in our neighborhood, if we're able to benefit and help each other based on this loving concern and loving kindness. And then also we can think in terms of the greater country and the between nations, there be less wars and conflict and so forth. So and without any sense of jealousy, competitiveness, and so on, there'll be a lot more sense of loving kindness. And so as long as the Dalai Lama mentions this regularly.
인자 잠재 탈 첨부 잠재가 난게 세토슈디 아니 세원인지 첨부 세드레스 세원인지 첨부 냠슬란 단계 비기 랍샤 삽슈디 안 넘버 산지 비기 추나라야 산지 좀 된디게 아니 송당 아니 야가르키비 공불루드 야슬로 소바 반덴 다와 타바 아니 자스 첨부 시월로 소비 송라야 원내기 잠재 냠낸 제단계 름바 탈침바디 아니 shong tigidin song yores.
So the love and loving kindness, the greatest combination of loving kindness is that of the great compassion. Yeah. So whatever advices that the Buddha Shakyamuni passing through great scholars like Nagarjuna and his heirs, Chandaguri, Shati, Deva, and so forth, those texts that are written by these great Indian scholars is really mentioning the great compassion.
Tirda dinza lama yishidang lama sobrumuchi nendele pevni ani pugyu nandengi chozoch tsugiyadang digi tsentiya ani Chenriziki Lobnyer Concept, Chenriz Institute, Chenriz Lobnyer Concept, Kanji Ninji Chembi Lobnyer Concept sort of Chagores. Zugoya Gunsen Koran Zamling Shiddig Zavadi and Ninji la 2 day Yovanza. Pintigi Shiddi Triak Chet, Pardon de Lomba Dinala Yajik, Shiddi Triak Chedo, and it Chuzo di Zugiyobadi, Saint Tardan Korang Toning on Zugi, and it love to grace.
So Lama Yeshe and Lama Rinpoche did come previously to this area and gave the name to this to the center that was to be established as Chedrezik, yeah. So he gave it specifically in terms of a place that is going to be of study and institute, yeah. So so this would be with the following the great root of the idea of that sense of great compassion. So this main root is the sense of this great compassion. And this is the real essence of what the Chedrezik Institute is going to be. Because the great compassion is really the root of world peace, yeah? Cultivating world peace. So in the same thread or the same thing that we are going to be is studying at this institute under this main theme of great compassion.
Since the Chenrizik said the so big, and Choju Java said the Chebasanandra, and Sangi, the Tugyuki, 7 inches chamboti, and Dushi Molotsu, La Sharjava Telia, and Chenrizik Segores. Partuk not 7 inches chambodares, Sangi Tugyuk, 7 inches chambodares.
So when we think about what the meaning of the word Chedrezik is, it is really the essence of all the compassion of all the Buddhas, yeah? So it's the essential nature of what all the Buddhas are, is this great compassion. Yes. This one. Chedrezik, so the name Chedrezik has this this idea of the great compassion. This thing again.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have a few more questions. Is it
Yeah.
okay? So what does Chenrezik Institute, like institute, means for you?
Like Geshe Tsultrim and Chedrezik Chuzo the Pentok Hariyure.
Chezang Anzogi, Chuzo di Pendo di Milaya, Shamzigi, and Lamdun Chezagita, Tengnich, Nambasangi Vichu, Tinangi, and Table Chimbugi, and Ninji the Chanjuk Sem Kolaya, and Loma Rilaya, Jamba Tarchma Checheni, and Dindi Jansangi, Lama Givishin Mambu Shuji, and Chozo de Dindi Shuchene, Mamalaya, and Ditone, Labjet 지기요로 왔으러 다가랑기 아니 최소디기다 아니 펜도레스
So Chidrezi Institute is really a place where many people are able to come and gather and listen and reflect about the teachings of the Buddha and generate a sense of faith, a sense of understanding of what great compassion and bodhicitta is, for example. And also it's a place where many teachers have visited and given their respective advices and thoughts. So really the Chidrezi Institute is something that has been of great benefit.
Thank you. And now I have a question about green Tara and Tara. So if you also could say a few words about Tara, what qualities Tara have, and also what green Tara means for you.
Geshe the droba changu droba any Geshe Tsultrim any petro kari chusogs and droba petro kari yure.
지선 좀말라
Jitsu drobala shang got it.
등얘기 변하다 비기 밤에 깨지 시야디 지년 두 번이 전에 아니 지선점이 생활을 써봐 아니 지선점이 되발을 써봐 아니 지선점을야 물론 돼야지 고되게 여러 왔어 고열에서 등이로
So with great Aryatara, for example, from when Geshe was able to even listen from his parents, his mother and father, from the time of that time, he was able to hear about and understand about the mantra of Dara, the praises of Dara, and the aspirational prayers associated with Dara. So Geshe was able to hear and understand about this even from the time of when he was able to listen to his parents.
These nga the lo dun yen chene and ngi momutige karam mese tawa chetuwana mese kibu yungres so ngi momuti ngi ame amati ngal dilagores ngi sibu teng dos ro deni chene ani nga lo choksum chushilaya ani tawa cheyage ro longbagi nedan yabu mena ya nga tawa chetu yores ani tawa chetu wa zamase ngara samnola ya nga densa pigi sera chelaya ani lobnye chesa chik lebro chena samni ro nga phayula ya chunjung kale devadi nga ritombu dinji gala drochine ani nga sera chelaya ani pesha tasa lewa shu sininge ani nima pigi gonda nima pa lagem drosa nima pa drosa yasajora o dineba kalo nge mala mabu janyo yes na sera chela lewa shu sen
Milam. Milam.
Milam lewa shu
Milam.
yeah.
So from the time that Geshe was 7 or 8 years old, his grandmother, his mother's brother, his grandmother clearly and very enthusiastically encouraged Geshe to become a monk. Yeah. So, and saying that if you become a monk, then you will have a very good life and so forth. So his grandmother encouraged Geshe to become a monk. So then from the ages of 13 to 14 years old, Geshe became a monk. And even though they weren't very good conditions, Geshe prayed that he would go to Sarah J Monastery in order to study those relative texts. Yeah. So Geshe would go up onto a high mountain and he would make prayers, aspirational prayers, that I would be able to one day go to the Sarah J Monastery in order to study. Yeah? So Geshe prayed very strongly to do like this.
This is only nga tawachi toksong nga pigi nga la ya pasta ani chi penjol lo soba nami kyo in the ki yo mar de ya nga pe shasho ni chini gyagal ho sho pardo kanga chi manchi bi toni nga lessons serecheba lessons level sama singi lo nyushu lagjile ya ani gegen samgi mege tinji da tukche ani lobjong che nga geshi chasons ro.
So based on this, then Geshe, even though having poor resources, Geshe was able to become a monk. Yeah? And then from Tibet, he traveled to South India into the Sarah J Monastery, yeah, without any incidents whatsoever. And then for a period of 20 years or so, then Geshe was able to study under the guidance of many great teachers. And on this basis, Geshe was able to obtain his Geshe degree.
Nga seral ya lo nyush sabdu nga seral deba yins. Ti rin la ya nga nima chik pigi mengana la ya nyin deya ki nga nasa chiya nama sons. Chambado da ta pigi chik yungur ma do chik nasa za chakbu nani mengana la ta pena nima nyi sum dego ya da chik yora timdi chik tsao nini ngima zina choma nyons.
So for within 27 or so years over this period of time, Geshe was at Sarah Monastery. And during this time, Geshe at no point had to go to hospital due to any type of serious illness or emergency, where any emergency that might require staying 2 or 3 days in the hospital. Only maybe getting a cold. Geshe might have experienced his getting a cold, but he never had to experience any time in the hospital. This never happened for Geshe.
Kansana serala pigi lobjong cheverin la ya nima takbo choro tsogres. Ra ta dunta chig na la nima tuk mang che choro tsogres. Choro tsogondi gonda pigi ki ani tsoba tso yang tso ruru chende tawa tsama tso ruru chende nyamdo dene tini drama nyushu tsak chig di kabko la ya tsar nyushu tsadan tindi kyor gres. Ani tsar dun tindi ani chuk chig tindi o du chene. And you might have drama curious. Tindigi, Susu Samalaya, Tindigi, Chinluki Wangi, and in Mazanamalaya, Monichi, Kambachaya, Lavachaya, Mengana, Yegoyagi, Kangachi, Montebadi, Jizun Drama Rank, Tujikadi, Samsung Roch, Susu Samna Diores.
So at the Sarah Monastery, about 6 days a week or so, then of an evening, Geshe would gather for a debate with the other monks. So as the monks would come together to debate, then they would also recite praises to Tara together. Sometimes it would be the 21 praises to Tara, or sometimes recite the 7 praises or 11 praises and so forth. But this was done on a daily basis before the debate practice. So this, due to the recitation on a daily basis of these praises to Tala, Geshe thinks that during this whole entire time that he didn't break a leg or break any bones or have any physical physical problems, yeah. And he really thinks that it is due to the kindness and the blessings of Aryatara.
데리다 로 진짜 나랑 계기 무슨 상을 땅 봐야나야 긴 독자로다 파르체들이 독자 가야 많대바디 아니 저전 드라마라야 다 니마 딱봐 소담는 조고요 반사 디기다 가데 레스 아니 디난싱기 먼저 도스지 홍 깨우 당부츠 남들 제바이나 베는 조지반데 아디샤긴 단 제바 쌈기메 케바 쇼게요로스 야 아니 조지반데 아디샤기 남다 나라야 아니 이듬 그초디 지즈 드라마난체 지즈 드미베 샤지 무스 총야로 소바 딘지 토니 아니 조지반데 아디샤기 때니 아니 제바 칠리 쌈기메 케바 라 갸가르 펜트루 셴리페 캬바도 파비소르 제바틀리 기야디 조 이담 아니 지즈 드라마 템비게 아니 틸리 톡 틸리 레스 or Dindiores.
So when we think about the fact that Geshe wasn't experiencing or meeting with any obstacles or problems, this is really due to that daily supplication to Aryatara. He feels like that. So likewise, when we look at the biographies of great masters, for example, like Great Master Atisha was able to accomplish many unthinkable, amazing activities, but mainly due to the fact that Aryatara was Great Master Atisha's main meditational deity. Yeah. So Great Master Atisha was able to directly see and supplicate Green Tara, yeah. And based on this capability, Great Master Atisha was able to engage in that these activities of bringing the Buddha Dharma to Japan and so forth. But this is based on the being assisted by the enlightened activities, yeah. That's okay.
Peni pe nangloya 추균 전부 시세지 요레스 로 사자 님마 가주 geluk세기 추균 만들어 지당 그 넘버 상기바 임바 찍바 있느냐 수수 추균 만들어 아니 시스 용거레스 엔 디낭로라야 지 예담 수수수 예담 만들어 딘지 페나 geluk 버도지 임바나 아니 예담 산딘 직섬디 아니 조 지기요레스
이런 상계 거나 상계 직섬
상원되바
상원되바
지시 숨디 조 지기요레스
상원되바 지제 그래서 맞아 지제 당 숨바
뎀촉
okay. Okay, 되네. 거나
조치거스 드니 아지 니마이나 피기기다 이담 땀진 조치데야라 소바 아니 사게이나 코란조야 믹스기 딘지 조 딘지 로고로고 요레스 임바 있느냐 아니 사게 니마 gelukka 규 시가로그 지존 드라마디 아니 개침부 무증이 찍게 요 말레스 사마기 지존 드라마라야 아니 개침부 쓰다디 찍부찍야레스
So in Tibetan Buddhism, we can understand that there's the four great lineages or sects, such as the Galupa, the Glu, Sekya, Nipa, and Kagyu schools, yeah? So but these are all considered to be Buddhist, but they've all got different lineages, yeah? Four different lineages or schools, the Galupa, Kagyu, Sakya, and Nyingma schools. So, for example, we can think in terms of the meditational deities are going to be slightly different regarding which school or lineage that is going to be studied on. So, for example, we've got the Kalupa school. They've got 3 meditational deities, such as the Kusamaja, Hayagriva, and the Yamantaka, yeah? So within these meditational deities, there are these 3 main ones in the Kalupa school. And there's also different meditational deities in terms of the Sakya school, and likewise with the other schools. But all 4 of these schools take the Aryatara as being most important in the same way. So the 4 schools take Green Tara as being very important in the same way, regardless of which school they are following.
Ini sanji 점된디기 추줄디 sanji 점된디기 남비 추디 다 샤쇼고 롬보 망불레야 개컵 망불레야 다리오레스 로 갸나 쯔비 아니치 코리아레 다 디네바 베트남이스레 다 두수 참을레야 아니 베라 소바 아니 개컵 망부 슈레야 sanji 추 다리오레스 레디 아니 지 갸가기 나는다 나신기 아니 sanji 추레야 아니 퇴숨 로니 체체 삭제 다르스기 거니 나니 아니 갸쳔부디 변한신지 잠부장자시나 중요 말이스 대야 아니 조지반데 아드샤 별lep 이담구 쪼디 아니 지sun 드마다 파버체리슬이야 때니 아니 산지 템바디 아니 다블 제발이 까들 때니 아니 별이야 믹스기 아니 산지 템바 다르투요리스 그래서 참을 타투온디 아니 지sun 드마다 파버체리스기 아니 진럽이 바디 야시가다 말이스
So the Buddha Shakyamuni, his teachings, Buddhism spread in many Eastern countries. For example, they spread in China, Korea, Vietnam, Tibet, and so forth. So they spread in a very vast way, the Buddha's teachings in these Eastern countries. So, but for example, the Nalanda tradition, where it has a tradition of study, reflection, meditation, and very extensive studies, is honestly speaking, is not that Nalanda tradition was not spread in other countries except for Tibet. Yeah, so this style of or tradition of teaching was only taught, yeah, in the Tibetan areas. So then we've got the great master Atisha, yeah. So this is due to the great kindness of the great master Atisha and dependent on the blessings of great Aryatara and Chedresi or Avalokiteshvara. So this spread of the Nalanda tradition was spread due to the blessings of Tara, great Aryatara and Chedresi. So we can be certain about this.
베레베나 베비기 북춘중지 바이나 베시 로스 싱안이 엄마는 빼면 제레스기 생각이 코란싱기 시인 거레스 라 아니 지 베비 상관라야 무직 세바이나야 아까 인지 삼삼기 삼로디 스웨샤오 마이바 비기 링기 소로치 이어레스 디니 벼 간젠바디 파워체르즈기 믹스기 두샤 인스니 아니 상기랑기 롱덴나오야 요레스 롱덴 상기기 롱덴바스 나고라
롱덴바
상기 롱나오야 송나오야 송샤레스
알레레 롱 that's long. So even the Tibetan children, the young children of the ages 4 or 5 or so, the Tibetan children are able to even naturally understand and recite the Om Mani Padme Hum Chidrasic compassion mantra. They naturally know this mantra. And even the Tibetan people in general, if they see a small insect being killed, then spontaneously the Tibetan people say, oh no, that's really bad. Oh, I can't, that's not all right for that to happen. Yeah. So the Tibetan people really have this sense of compassion due to the kindness and that affiliation with Avalokiteshvara or Chidrasic. Yeah. So this relationship was really prophesied within the Buddha's teachings himself by the Buddha.
Tinzada bi mi genshin meba samalogi pavacherizigi tsenga mani yigdu di jang bala tene ani pavacherizig mi namba chenba ra pavacherizig pi sangi tuju ninji di lai namba peva di pavacherizig and di mi namba peva di ani gyawar kuntin chubshiti chagwares ra kuntin chubshiti Pavacherisik mi nambalaya pevni pe kanjing jonglaya pevi any tian zodi pavacherisik pigita tsengadang pavacherisilaya tebadang injig tone any mi nambalaya chambaris.
So the great Avalokiteshvara or Chidrasic and the respective body mantra, the 6-syllable body mantra, we could say that is the essence of the great compassion. So the essence of great compassion is something that is manifested or personified into the deity of Chidrasic or the great Avalokiteshvara. So this is from the deity perspective, whereas when we speak in terms of that great compassion that is manifested in a human form, we can understand that to be the 14th Dalai Lama. Yeah, so the great 14th Dalai Lama was one that came to Tibet and is the human form or the human manifestation of this great compassion. Yeah. So the Tibetan people, due to their great faith and their recitation of the 6-syllable body mantra, then His Holiness the Dalai Lama came to be in this human aspect in the land of Snows, Tibet.
Is a pavacherisik mi number chendivita gyawaramuchi ye then zambalilaya ra chamzi labsha nangi ra 2000 chamzi kichesh sondengindi gyawaramuchi imbas. Ani nanzu dus da jik nubsho da Australia ri Europe ri da samangdola ya ngone jik namba sangi bi chodi tanda kana kanzumji mi mambuge pigi nyen yoba da jik nyams len yobi kaden zodi gyawramji le tugi yobas parto na baba jeris ani tugi kadengi nanzu dus kanji namba sangi bi chö nyegi 고급디 총 yores.
So within our world, yeah, the people that are advocating love and compassion, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is the one who is the strongest, who is the most outspoken about love and compassion within our world. Yeah. So His Holiness the Dalai Lama in many countries, in Western countries, and many nations has spoken about love and compassion. And on that basis, we're able to listen and practice and put into practice based on this kindness of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So ultimately, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is the essence of Chenrezig, yeah, who has got the essence of great compassion. So due to the kindness, this kindness, that we have the opportunity to practice the love and compassion and reflect about it.
나랑 뒤딱도 아니 파파 제리시 까지 삼구였어. 베나가 미싱이 낭출라 장바레스. 미싱 낭출라 장이 낭출라 장비 전다 님보디 아니 셴라 로 남비 추구토네 셴라 펜도치야디 미연 타도보디 데레스. 대정이 장이 이 단다 디 제리스 추조를 랩체 간지 미 칸라 간서 투니 아니 나랑 간 장샤버디 파시에 고급 주로디 아니 파바제르스 미 넘버 첸디비 아니 겨울무지 까데리스 겨울무지 까데리스 anga chuzo dirije ro ngara nanchu janjabi ti ani chi tula kan dindi shi shanje ni chöshesa chi ngara ngon sogo chomba na ngin roson koran tang thu marwas kala pesha mewas ro imbayna ya ni ngal remake ton ro ngara kharin dende ngi nanchu kanshi badi milaya kaddu shegi imbayna ya sheya gogobda sheya kuyuda tuzu samallo 아니 제리즈 추적까지 아니 파버제리즈까지 파버제리즈 미 넘버 20비기 겨울무지까지 파버제리즈기 젤럽기 페 아니 투기 용수 아니 칸댕기 아니 라마 소버무지까지는 때니 아니 나는 두스 로 추구토는 아니 가르쳐봐야냐 제초야기 튕겨라야디 도르드나 파버제리즈까지 아삼비 니 샘띵니 디삼구여스
So we have always thinking about, Geshe is always thinking about and reflecting about the kindness and compassion that is being received from the Avalokiteshvara or the great Chitrezik, because Geshe has had the opportunity to make his life be able to have study and reflect. And based on that study, the main purpose of engaging in that study is in order to be a benefit to others. So this is the ultimate goal. So in order to be of benefit to others, Geshe was able to come to Chitrezik Institute and be able to share whatever he has learned and his knowledge and share that with others. So this is really due to the kindness Geshe thinks of Avalokiteshvara or Chitrezik and to the kindness of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So now Geshe is hoping to establish a new monastery at Chitrezik Institute and new main temple. But this is based on the kindness of Chitrezik Institute, because there are many expenses associated with establishing a new monastery. Geshe himself doesn't have any money himself, but in order to depend on that kindness of Chitrezik Institute, then we'll be able to develop this goal. So and not only the kindness, depending on the kindness of Chitrezik Institute, but also the kindness of Avalokiteshvara and His Holiness the Dalai Lama himself. And also thinking likewise in terms of the kindness of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. But ultimately, we can think in terms of the kindness related to Avalokiteshvara or Chitrezik. Geshe feels very much from the depths of his heart like this.
Heza chuzo di ngala kadin chimbu shuchik ra susungane oni chuzo di ngala kadin chimbu shuchik in some years.
So I feel very grateful from my side, grateful for the kindness received from Chitrezik Institute.
Heza ngarang ngone chuzo delaya ra chu sheba zamayimba chuzo di ta zula khan 된다 덴바텔이야 아니 지 간다지 고그레스 줄라 칸세디 간다지 고그리디 아니 만준 사전 델 용에 나니 약슈 딩 예싱그레스 가즈나가 미치 아니 곰바타산라 케바인자 미치 곰바타산나 데바인자 곰바타산 드다디 예싱그레스 인자 예싱바디 겐케네 레가 마치바이나 아니 nga desa delaya game maki usoro chagirwas
So from my side, even though I do share my knowledge from Geshe's side, I do share my knowledge having studied about the Buddha Dharma and sharing my knowledge about Buddhism. So, but not only that, Geshe, having stayed in the monastery from a very young age, Geshe has the experience and the wherewithal on how to go about establishing a monastery, and main temple. So Geshe feels that it's also his responsibility having had this experience.
Dinza ani chi chozo dige zulakhan chi zulakhan nang kosong thude ani chi yeyong khoyula sobadi ani musunda chi thongbayna ya semnala ya debaji goya chi sogoya di ani nganzu lenge res lagden du suzugi ngarang lenge yin samsam rochi ani samlu dikhen ngandrogu yes.
So here, when we're thinking about establishing a new monastery or new temple, within this temple, and the temple, it represents the body, speech, and mind, of the enlightened body, speech, and mind. It has the representations of the physical, mental, and verbal aspects of enlightenment, So on this basis, others are actually able to generate a mind of faith, by seeing these representations of the enlightened body, speech, and mind. So this is our responsibility to offer to others to generate this faith. So this is what Geshe says, that he takes this responsibility and goes forth with that responsibility.
Kyabji lama sobo rumbuchilaya kaptu shubayins rumbuchi ngalaya kerangi pigita tembadang rovalaya ane pendo kandrachiki chedu kari chegu yobana kerangi cheshos kari chegu yana kerangi cheshos ngalaya dikka ngus ngal kadnansons
Rubuche gi Geshe la so yere Geshe gi Rubuche la. Okay. So Lama Zopa Rinpoche advised Geshe to do whatever is the beneficial for the teachings and for the beings, for people, So Lama Zopa Rinpoche said directly to Geshe like this.
당한주기 로 내가 자침부 내가 랍침부 치원디 난줄이야 파치 용시그레스 하고데
Yes.
파치 용시그 딘 파치 용시그레스 디칸스는 로단지레스 반든 다와타베기에 오먼 주베 나라야 트라시 나나마다 렌직신스 로 트라시비게 자와 체살이야 아니 주피기 차만디베기 깨져시에 땡에 아니 가진 체등에 딘지지 용야디 코 직댕 로단 레스 송요레스 딘자 딘지기 차만디비 가진 파체 도약 체도 먼저 주준 드라마라야 소답고야디 페 마시바 케침보레스
Chadukutiki di umajupalani di dapat sosa
라
di umajupe di dapat sosa
오만주나
Yes. So so since this work of building a temple, a monastery is very vast and profound, it's quite possible that there's going to be obstacles that are going to be arising that will be obstructing the completion of this. So it was mentioned by Chandrakirti in his Entering the Middle Way text that any worldly works for the sake of worldly purposes, there's going to be difficulty arising. But if the works are going to be for a profound and very vast purpose, then there's even more likelihood of obstacles obstructing that work completing. So this is the meaning of what was mentioned in the Entering the Middle Way view text by Chandrakirti. So it's really important to rely on Dara, Arya Dara, in order to remove those obstacles.
추조기다 zulakhangi tsubi 아니 추조기 레된 cheondige 아니 텔레야 문데바 칭이 가바장에 텔레야 파르체 칭이 땡땡 용식리스 로 미게르비나 소수세미나야 자원이니 비 데바 메규 틴디 칼라야 당이 셈나로야 야 아니 직 출라 무가비게 초저라 딘디게 아니 네버레 삼삼로치 다 하고나
The chugi nubere,
추마인비 추마인비다 아니 셈라야 네버 타인고레 삼삼 삼로타니 주주 드라마리아 소와답치 아니 추존디게 레든 체종 칸드지메나야 수승은 삼반남다기 산기기 때문에 샨드비 인삼네 내가 제바이나 산기기 공바이나 데리스 자빌라마 야오르무치 라마 소버무치 공바이나 다가랑 차고레스
So here, establishing the monastery or Baha'i temple at Chetresi Institute, whatever works that we're engaging in, there's going to be people that are going to be disliking, or possibly creating obstacles in order for this work to be completed. It's very possible that this situation can arise, But Geshe feels in his mind that even though there may be beings or situations where that they're going to be working against those Dharma activities, possibly causing conflict or so forth, then whatever comes, regardless of whatever comes, we're supplicating the great Arya Dara, to remove those obstacles. So likewise, so in the same way, the great masters like His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Lama Zopa Rinpoche have done like this.
딘즈다 간지 간주기 카드이나 아니 지존 드라마리아 캡주 지존 드라마리아 소다바이나 아니 간주 비기다 즉 최든 tum비게 자와칸 여버디 땡땡 간주 줍투그레스 줍조그레스 라 단다 파르도 아니 깨부 담바투속이 아니 지존 드라마리아 소다니 아니 상기 템발이야 자와칸 제바디 줍요레스 만드버 찍장 총요 말레스 나란 소인바이나야 지존 드라마리아 타찍도 세찍도 소다니 오늘 상기 템발랑 기체도 내가 제바이나 아주 내가 가리는 제투그레스
So based on supplicating and requesting great Aryatara, so if that is those supplications or requests are in accord with the Dhamma, then whatever those supplications are, then they're necessarily going to be accomplished, and achieved. So likewise, in the same way that the holy beings has supplicated and requested Aryatara, not one having supplicated is that great purpose that's in accord with the Dharma has not been accomplished. Yeah. So if we, with a mind that is single-pointed and with faith that we're supplicating and requesting Dharma, then we can do and achieve whatever we wish that is in accord with the Dharma.
Terda jizun drama tinang jizun drama dronjang di the lorgu nang sheba na ani phame gi ten la ya ani sang ging gi thome gi soroch a chayores ani sam magi ko loba lam gi negobso chidang pi da gyabu ji gi semo la ya ani kewale ani chen la ya yishi dawas ro yishi dawa pomu yishi dawa singinti teni ji loba lam gi negobso 아니 냠타비 섬전라야 하장기 잠바 용이 세와 용이 딘지 지기 베 냠타 섬전기 쳐도 아니 수수기 가르르던 것은 땅치네 아니 투게 되는게 아니 세무지 차고레스 유스타 지 산기 다 mambu shu shawrata ani kawa mambu shu jigrin la ya tindi gi tugi tamja pe ani kechene ani sangi dengengi ro phame gi ten la ya sangi dengengi chagores jizon dramati.
So in history, it is mentioned that Aryadhara is historically the only female Buddha, or a Buddha that is taken a female form. Yeah, so this is who Aryadhara is. So during the time that Aryadhara was practicing the path, then she was actually a princess or a daughter of a particular king. And the princess's name was called Geshe Tsultrim. Yeah. So this princess called Geshe Tsultrim, she had great, huge, unbelievable amount of love and compassion for the beings. And whatever that needed to be given up, yeah, the princess was able to do so. And so over many eons, many kalpas, the Aryadhara in this poem made a promise to take the form of a female or a woman and finally attain the state of enlightenment in the form of a woman. So this is who Tara is, Aryadhara is.
Drami tebe nanglo la ya, drami tebe nanglo la ya, ro pi ta ngangsong sum la soba, kanjin kowi ne la ya chamdengi sumjen nam kowal le drowa chibi nibadi jizun drama la yores, kowal le drores, ro ani ta jik sumjen nam ani ngamra dan jikta la sobe ge dunga le trubi nibadi jizun drama la yores, ani dro nam ta 아니 뒤다 넘버 건도 따지 내릭 드라마달라 소비기 내데야게 내리 트리기 니바디야 주존드말레 요레스 딘자 딘지 니바디 소소라야 젠랍도 소소라 주발라야 소수 응원이 주존드말레야 타직도 아니 대바다 이치기 토네 주존드미 생각송바이나 야사갸담바 아니 피게 지바당 내라 소바 민팀비 깬 간드잖아 dog matuaji savini yomaris the choji pande atisha sungu yoras.
So it is mentioned in the praises to Aryadhara is that Aryadhara is the liberator from the sufferings of the hells and sufferings of cyclic existence, is the liberator from cyclic existence. So Aryadhara has this capacity to liberate beings from fear and suffering and to protect. Yeah? So also Aryadhara has the capacity to free and protect from a variety of different sicknesses and other sufferings. So we get to experience this form of blessing from Aryatara if we're able from our own side to generate single-pointed faith and conviction, belief in the capacity of Aryatara. Yeah. So great Master Atisha mentioned that Aryatara is somebody who there is nothing that Aryatara cannot protect and liberate from. Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. And yes, I like this story about Tara. And I have two more questions from our marketing and communication manager. And one question is about retreat, what we will have in April. And the retreat is about Green Tara. And the question is, what is your motivation to lead this retreat and how people could benefit from participation?
Yes. Any Isla?
Yeah.
Ra, any chinda shibalang has jobe sam shagi yorwa. Any sam jobe sam shabi gulong kari yore. Eri kozu sam ken tenso peto kari yore.
Kulongzo di number sangi wigi chu ti nani jizun drimi gi chugur di ani tekba chimbu gu chu chagores.
So Geshe's main motivation for taking the Aryatara as the point of reference for the Easter retreat is to take the Aryatara's main Mayan teachings.
제 빈자 태보 chimbu chugu kulong도 카르레스 ninji 쳔보 로 셴 심전 탐제 동안도 전에 지마로 냠비 아니 셴라야 펜디 좀도 삼바 디로와스 딘자 간주 지다 아니 롬반디나 데니 지 미셴발야 펜도지 총나 삼네 로 지준 드미기 비기다 추구를 통해 땡땡 셴라야 펜도지 지투그리 삼네 아니 간주 지준 드미기다 조 드마니 직사야 로 니마 카시 지rin라야 아니 드마니 직사야티 공 미유트레스.
So the main point or the main purpose of the Mahayana or the great vehicle is that of the great compassion. Yeah. The thought that wishes to free all sentient beings from suffering. So this is the main purpose of the greater vehicle. So, but in particular, in that same light or that same motivation, the Aryatara, we can recite the 21 praises to Aryatara, and we can do that over a number of days. Yeah. So by reciting these praises, then this is the same essence of the greater vehicle point. So this is Geshe's goal or Geshe's motivation.
데네다 조직디 간주 초조기 달 레든 체문링 총 가르여바이나야 간지 최던 팀비 로 아니 지 라마 소브르무 지기다 까고난 신기 로 어디 레든 간르지면 두수직 라마노 야부치 로 삼반난 신지 드비야기 체도 아니 간주 제주 드미게 달 레론스나모도 비게 제주 드마니지 아니 니마 카시리라야 사야 치기요레스 안데네 바자갈란 조치 아니 치세라치 쯧비 디기델야 아니 드마사야 이 겸죽슈야 아니 치 셴데피야 아니 겨울무치기다 피 줄라칸라야 조체 아니 지저드마다 아니 또 소마 반데 라모기 아니 피 추고디 아니 겨울무치기 줄라칸라야 페빌로사 세버치기 쇼긴가 소체니 텐난기여자 아니 델라조 아니 지 준비 샨데르티스 퓨치 겐데마솔야 스웨자당 셰바당 안데스 퓨치니 아니 겸주시야티 라 론디 나로라야 간지 최종디기 내가 천지 총소 간데 줘봐나 참마 람조 용야기 아니 몰럼 슈다 치기스 안찬소나 디나신기 아니 냠드 셈슈다 아니 니버티어로시스
So mainly we could think about in terms of the praises of the differing numbers of praises. We could do the small, middling, or 100,000 different praises following in order to remove the obstacles. So following Lama Rinpoche's advice, then we can say, for example, we can recite the 21 praises to Arya Tara. So for the purpose of removing the obstacles, in order for the dharmic activities to be established. So then Geshe is also going to India also with that motivation. So Geshe will be going to India in particular, will be visiting the main temple of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and going to set up monastery and making offerings at these respective places. For example, when Geshe visits the main temple of the Dalai Lama, they're making offerings and supplications to Pauden Lama, and on the first of the Tibetan New Year, that Geshe will be getting up very early and taking the opportunity to make offerings to the assembly of the monastics that will be assembled there. Yeah. So this is so in general, we can think of the praises and the recitation of the praises of the 21, praising the 21 Taras is for the purpose of allowing things that are need to be accomplished, the good things that need to be accomplished, and we can make sure that we have that motivation, And Geshe himself will be making those aspirational prayers that all of those good things will be able to be accomplished and achieved. And so likewise, from your side, as please try to your ability, to your capacity to think in the same way. So with according to your enthusiasm and your capacity, try to think in your own, from your own side.
Thank you. So the last question. Last question we have. So last question is because you are leaving for 2 months. Geshe is leaving for 2 months. So the question is if you could leave us some words of wisdom or motivation that we could contemplate during this time. Of course, we hear a lot of words like this today and in the last year, but if it could be like something like 2 sentences for us to contemplate.
And then don't try doing it like the Gagiola Pegiro. Any digi parula, any Chirisiki Chusuki Lopatetso, any Galop this Daroda, any Tadabato, what's this luxury fryer, this Rurub, and he's so there, any Galop Daroda.
Chazan the 믹스기 칼럽세다 키요마레스 로 간지 소소도지나야 샘슈베 쳔부여스 로 초존디 약부치 사수부치 로 베긴 안딩 고마치 레이 삼삼다치 소야 톨야 오늘 잔이 샘슈여스 로 아니 지 로망부 린려야 삼로타니 아 되기여스 안 단다지 딘디 용야게 레가 무스 아니 곤주치야게 뒤서서르지려야 레비여스 로 딘자 디 레가 든 곤주깔이야 토마 아니지 라마자바세다 제발이야 차 준비체야 디 아니 지 최소기 자와 간다지 바나야 토마 라마자바세다 제발이야 차 준비체바이나 자와 람도 용거레스 뭔가 기ව 담바서 참하게 딘디 나요레스 딘자 나랑게 딘나시 체치네 토마디에 야가파비일란투 야오르무치기에 피기 sul라칸란투 아니 춘비티스치 데니 댄서 첨부 세라틱진일란투 춘비티스치 조 지존 드마니치 아니 범다르틴디 아니 사야기 깜주시에인스 나르슨 델 댕인수인 바이나야 아니 니마타바치 아니 최종디 라마 소바rum지 까고 난신기 지 약부 차수부 용약이 체도 아니 소수 응원에 아니 지수 드미 피 드마 예직 된토나 약슈레 대달 마토나야 옴따리 또다리 또레 소세 지수 드민 생아디 강 툭툭지 사로시스 강 툭툭지 사로시스
So Geshe doesn't have any special advice, really, other than the fact that the wish and the motivation to be of benefit and to improve the Chenrezig Institute and the related programs and sort of the development of Chenrezig Institute. Yeah. So over many years, Geshe has thought about the ways in order to make improvements. Yeah. So Geshe feels that this is the time right now to put into practice and to implement and ways to develop and improve in general. Yeah. So in order for us to practice what our great masters and teachers are advising us, then Geshe is going to go to India and make those appropriate offerings and supplications, offerings at those holidays the Dalai Lama's made temples, offerings at the Sera monastery, and mainly for the purpose of accumulating the 100,000 praises to the 21 Taras. Yeah. So this is really following that and trying to put into practice what Lama Zepa Rinpoche and the masters are mentioning and advising. Yeah. But from your side as students, then if you can recite the 21 praises to Tara, or if not the 21 praises, then if you can recite the name mantra of Tara, Tare tu Tare Ture Soha, as much as one can, yeah, that would be very beneficial. So if one is able to, as much as one is able to recite the 21 Tara mantras, the Tara mantra, and if possible, the 21 Tara phrases.
저당간저 미기 춘예레스 로 간저 땐도 대통령직 수지요 말레스 나임바네야 니마치글라 아니 최존드니 카테도 그레스 군직딩 춘예레스로 소소 최존드니 카테위 니모텔야 아니 최존디 야타주지 삼삼치키 로 최존디 나와라래 소소 내가 삼반남다 진 삼삼치 로 어체니 소소 조야 총바이나 빼마스베 기부 용사레스 딘디 삼치네 최존디기다 아니 친남 발섬 로 참말이야 아니 삼로타니 소소피기 내가 칭이 냠도 차실라니 druguyes druguyes penazula kan di nanta wimbaina nga thoma lady gindelia tembu tumbi ombi kunyin di chakpari richin ta chambu changja shebana chakpari richin dos kuzu tuzura ani tsagem kuzula ya iya yoro chakpaje ani sheregi shezi duzo ani pa nagbo chagyuro chin dos ani ngegi milaya roba cherochi labchini ani tembu tumbi ombi kudi kaso ta shezepiya ani kuzula ya ani seshoja kuzula seshoja da ngara rangi susu sosa dribjan samchini ngara rangi te cheba yins ani kolen da geri kunzu roba che shukri gyawori sama nganzu thoma delya nge thoma di te cheba yins.
So in the beginning, so in general, we could say that we all want to have happiness and experience happiness and pleasant things. This is natural wish, yeah. But one day, Geshe says that Geshe feels that he's going to have to separate from Chenrezig Institute, yeah. This is a natural thing. So during that time that of separation, we have the experience of afflictive emotions. But in order to quell those afflictive emotions, that sense of separateness, then Geshe feels that he wants to think that he did well and by having stayed at Chenrezig Institute and that time spent at Chenrezig Institute, he was able to engage in good works. So by engaging in constructing temple and overall improvements, yeah. So based on one's wishes, but then also in the purpose of removing obstacles to that accomplishment. Yeah. So Geshe mentioned about the Buddha Shakyamuni statue at the front of the temple here behind Geshe, that in the very early days, yeah, Geshe took the time to refurbish this statue, yeah. So it was able to make the improvements and refurbish it and bring it back up to its present day standard. Yeah. So this is was helped and facilitated by Jerry and other people in the beginning, in the early days.
Then the Karanzo Shusagi Dendozo Shusagi Dangerous. Them which Takbatsuch or Timakade and Dewu Meyo Rangiman Sejayo. Tadi Geruzo Pigilaya, do stay on the Ani Dewu down and it in your Samari Samcheni, Milaya, Robert Secheni, and then the surveillance. Then Samia di Piggy Nararank, them Gupapa Samcheni, surveillance. Ani di choking ayal, choking ayal, Tigan Sabde, some go Narang Gankini. Not lega Narang must be legacies and drone, surveillance. Chazon dig Namo and Sunaj Leva in a chick and Desaya Wucheta, Papebuch, Gogorism, surveillance. And it's Chologi, Nalanda garden by the Susun Gankini, surveillance, Susun worship of Trobosolia, Gucci Robocherochis, Shande Purochis, surveillance. Ngaran Gergichedo, Penjogiche, the long Jersha was out in the mess. Mamba, Lord Jata Kashilaya, De Toyaji, Sona Yaburo, Mitsolaya, Pendroga or something, Colon Dickens surveillance.
So the cushions that people are sitting on in front here, they used to actually be very old and thin and uncomfortable, yeah? So they were sort of red in color. And Geshe felt that where people looked at these cushions, that the cushions looked like they were very uncomfortable, they were looking very old and thin, yeah? So people thought that he thought that people would think that they're a bit uncomfortable to sit on. So Geshe took the responsibility to refresh those cushions, and make them much more comfortable. And likewise, the tables and the fabric on top of the tables, Geshe took that responsibility to make those improvements. So likewise, the Nalanda scholars in the Garden of Enlightenment, Geshe also took that responsibility to request others to make these scholar statues, Nalanda scholar statues, and to offer them free without having to make any payment. So Geshe says that he didn't do this, and he didn't make this his responsibility for his own purpose, but it's really for he had the motivation for allowing the Chedrezi Institute to remain well for many years, for hundreds of years.
Mongbalina, Chula kan yabuch, Zula kan yabuch, Lord Jata Kashilaya, Ani, and then to Yag, Zula kan, Nanga Kuson to the Inandra, Chig number Inandra, Yabuch Soyak, Dumba years, Bezun Chig years, Ra, and Dindi Tolaya, Ani Injimichi, Tungur Jarochis, Robert Cherochis, Telea Kuch, Gagi Mazorochis, Ra. Dingy Revas and the Labjas and the Dings.
So making the main temple at the Chedrezi Institute and making this new baptistry is in order for this new baptistry to remain for long into the future, for 100 years. So with the representations of the inner and outer of the body's picture mind of the enlightened ones, so making a particular statue and representations of the body's picture minds of the enlightened ones. So this is the purpose of trying to construct our main temple. So Geshe's main advice is to please assist in any way possible for this purpose, and please do not make any opportunity or danger of making problems for it. So this is Geshe's main advice.
Henzanga Jagal Ledogres, Jawarmuchan Sonju Sugres, Chimbichi, Saragomba Ledogres, Come to Dungi, Genesis Chuzolaya, Genesis Chuzol Chedu, Lega Chedingi, Telian Tungur Jadingi, Hitolaya, Be Kasata, Samba Namda Chedingi, and it Sundaji Yobanaya, Titam Chiki, and somebody choosing the Drubatan, and it's Messi Tende Yonagi, and Mulum Jagins.
So Geshe going to India and going to receive the teachings of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and to make offerings, there and also at Sarah Monastery. So Geshe is going with the thought that he's like a worker or a representative of Chedrezi Institute on the Chedrezi Institute's behalf, So by taking with him a correct motivation or a correct thought, So in order for the future to be able to share the Dharma and making life having a meaningful aspect in life. So Geshe makes his aspirational prayers in this way.
Been a Javarum Chigi, Zula Kanaya, Tawasumgen, Shivya Paralaya, Soyung Grace. Been a Serra and a Tawatunta Sum, the Ship Aralia, Soyung, Trig Soche, 아니 말람 자원디 말람 샹다만데 말람 태임바 자시 자당 바레스.
So, for example, at his Holiness the Dalai Lama's teachings, at those teachings, there are monastics that are going to die by between 300 and 400 monastics present. And in the same way, at the Zeta monastery, the monastics present would range between 3,000 and 4,000 monastics present. So with that number of monastics making the aspirational prayers, there's going to be a significant impact. It's for sure, or it's certain that there'll be a significant impact.
Thank you.
Yes. So we'll leave it here for today, and Geshe will recite the final Lamrim prayers.
Henrindun Belin, Sonini, Kantari Yamba, Kanshi Sabadi, Lome Marin, Gendon Joa, Namden Jave, Wambuda, Jurji, Temosunbe, Serbukundayan, Jambian, Jitsevi Jezondi, Tembi Rumba, Gonzan Lamjin Cho, Nini Drive, Janam Nisho, Rangi Chishin, Tobi Lamjini, Shura Zevi, Tami, Tamki, Joy, Mumbasa Jenny, Jave, Temba, Yurin, Zinjurji. Temba Rinjin Choki, Majaba, Chabjan Yambar, Jivi, Chotan, Inji Chimbi, Europe Javaye. Pende de Savar Chebojo, Siji Jave Major Chile, Letter Chanjel Jirimbe, Tandu Namji Yella Partition, Javan Zava, Rindu Chonjuji, Lamson Tribune to Gentrosis, Gaji Siji Medamimikun, Serokund, Javan Hawaii, Namda Landa Trevor Majuji, Kanzi Teba Chola, Chuju, Susan Trula, Zombati, Tunde Namji Dadu Trosis, Tashi Jamsu, Chogun Chavguru, Chuji, Jabo Tunga, Chunzan number of Peva. Gejin Samon Shevadan Tunje Malun Sanwarsho, Dadan Shinji Tusumdan Driven Sonila Den Javalo Santa Baye, Demba Yurim Bagurochi Shinda Shi Tsengolangan Cheons. Cosa.
Sorry, I just muted. So yes, see you in a few weeks or Chinda Shiba in April.
Thank you.